Thank you very much. And on behalf of Barclays, it is our honor and privilege to present this award to Sister Frances. What an inspiration to have such a simple idea and to have carried it forth in such a wonderful way as you have. We are very honored to give this award to you today.
This is the most wonderful culmination of our celebration of 25 years of Helen House. It all began very simply with a friendship with one little girl and her family. At the age of 2, she was diagnosed really quite suddenly with a brain tumour. She had surgery. She remained in hospital for 6 months, and I got to know the family quite soon after her operation. I was with them when they were told that there was no hope of recovery, and when they decided that the only place she could possibly be was her own home with her own family. And I watched over the next weeks as they coped somehow with 24-hour-a-day care, getting up many, many times in the night, sometimes not going to bed at all, as well as having a newborn baby sister for Helen. And I watched the effect of the cruelly prolonged grief, knowing that Helen couldn't get better. And one day I plucked up courage and asked them if they would trust me enough to lend her to me sometimes. And that was how it happened. And they would say to me that it was knowing that I loved her and knowing that I would do things their way that made that possible. And that knowing I could have her made it that they didn't need to ask me very often, because it was like having a sort of security net or a blanket under them. And when she would come to stay, they'd focus on the other children, have a weekend away or a few days in France or visit grandparents or catch up on sleep or have flu, the kinds of things that we mostly take for granted. And it was that friendship extended to other very sick children and their families that became Helen House. It had to be small, it had to be like family, it had always to be like welcoming friends to your home. It's always recognizing the expertise of the families, and however long we've been alongside them, the new family who comes tomorrow will be different from all the others. And then 4 years ago, realizing that some of our so-called children were now over the age of 20 and had outlived everybody's expectation, we decided to build another house just across the vegetable patch and called it Douglas House. And the young people designed it, really. They wanted bigger bedrooms with ensuite facilities. They wanted a long, wide corridor so that they could race in their electric chairs and play 10-pin bowling without having to go out. They wanted a music room with really thick walls so nobody would complain about the noise. Well, they got that, but they never shut the door. And then one bright spark who had just graduated from university and who just passed his driving test with only fingertip control and a specially adapted vehicle said, "Hey, I've just had an idea. How about we have a bar with free drinks so we can relax in the evenings?" So they got that too. The boys also said actually it was to be a parent-free zone, but we told them they'd have to sort that with their parents. So really it is about support for the whole family. I have to tell you that 25 years on, I have fewer answers to the big questions than I had at the outset. But what I do know is that it's important for all of us in such situations simply to recognize our own inability to answer the questions, but to be prepared to walk alongside as a friend, offering ourselves just as we are. It's a very simple concept, and one which I know everybody does in their own way. This morning, I was getting dressed very early in the morning to come here, and over the weekend I realized I didn't have anything to go under this jacket, so I nipped along to TK Maxx and got a t-shirt, and I just want to tell you what it said on the label when I took it off this morning. It told me it was made in New Zealand, and it has a little motto. It says here, "I achieve anything I put my mind to." And I just thought, how perfect for all of you here. Thank you very much.